Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Channel 6 TV, Community Focus. Glad you could be with us tonight. I'm Kenny Fogel, your host. We got Miss Kecia Copeland here with us today. And Kecia served a couple terms on the Barstown City Council, but after she got off a couple months ago, I don't think you've slowed down one day since. Matter of fact, I think you've speeded up. So thought, well, we'd get in here and catch up with you. First of all, thank you for taking it. I know you're busy today, as a matter of fact.
Yes, but thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate that, because I know you're getting ready for, just talk about that right up front. You got an Easter egg hunt coming up.
We have an Easter egg hunt, a community Easter egg hunt. I'm hosting and sponsoring, as well as the Bourbon City Bikers. And we're going to have it at Mountain Tucky Home State Park. And it hasn't been done in about almost 2 decades.
Really?
Yes. Miss Alice Heaton had it, and they had stopped it, and I remembered it. You know,
I seem like I remember
I was a
that.
teenager when it was going on. I think I was getting ready to graduate from high school, actually. And I just remembered that. I just remembered that Easter egg hunt, and I was like, we need to bring that back.
Yeah.
We really need to bring it back. And Mountain Tucky Home is such a beautiful park, and it should be utilized as much as possible. And I just thought, you know, why not? Why not do this? And so last year it rained. We had like 2 weeks of rain. And I was like, okay, no problem. We're not going to do this. But this year I was adamant about having it. And so the community has been so helpful.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I mean, it's our first one, and we want it to be bigger and better the next year. But it's just something for the kids to do. That's my mission, women and kids. And so, you know, we're going to build off this and find other things throughout, hopefully the summer and fall, for kids to do projects. So I'm really excited.
Okay, well, we've talked about the kids. Let's go to the other part, women. Now, I know you just hosted a conference, so I Am Her, I believe is what you called it. And well, what was it? I mean, I'm not a her, so I'll have to let you explain that.
Well, you know, I'm a woman,
right.
And I think that we need to have information that pertains to us. It's not excluding men. Men could come if they want to. Not one came.
Not real surprised, but we'll go into that later.
But it's about us, for us. So policies and information that we need that can help us, enhance us, empower us. And so it was imperative that was held. And it was Women's History Month.
Yeah.
So I did it on purpose. It was on the last day. And I just thought, you know, why not build them up to take them into the next month, because Women's History Month is only in March. But we live 365 days as a woman. So, you know, I had women from all walks. And what was so beautiful about it was that it was free. You didn't have to pay for this. It looked like you paid $40 or $50 to get in there, but it was free. And it enabled people to be able to come and not be pressured or worry about having this money to come into a conference that is for everyone. Yeah. So, you know, we had people from Lexington, Louisville, you know, Lebanon, everywhere. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful,
You had a good crowd, what I saw of it. And well, who brought up the topics? So it was just thrown out topics, or y'all had a agenda ready to go?
I created an agenda according to the speakers and panels that I had. So Dr. Tara Tuttle from the University of Louisville is a professor in gender studies. And she spoke about why it was necessary for women's history, what is women's history, and then she got into a little subject of white privilege. And it went over so well, but this is something that she does for a living. And then we had Heather French Henry. She came and she spoke about her career, things that involve women, veterans, and her race. You know, I thought it was important for women to know that she is running for this office, and what her objectives are, and what she wants to do for that office. And then we had some locals that hit it off really well. We had some physicians, which Dr. Callista Hughes works for CHI. She wasn't able to stay. We were running just a little bit behind. So we had our pharmacy, which was Allison Roby. And she is so educated in her field. You know, she advocates in DC. So that was something that they wanted more of.
Yeah.
And then we had a woman, you know, from the bourbon. We had Sedina from Maker's Mark. And she talked about women in the bourbon industry, you know, where she's at, what's available out there. So it was really nice. We had state representatives there, of course, who gave the nitty gritty about policies that are affecting us at the Capitol. So that was State Representative Attica Scott and State Representative Joni Jenkins. And they really stayed after and spoke to the people. But also there was a fireside chat's what I call it.
Yeah.
And State Representative Attica Scott and her daughter, Ashanti, spoke intimately about the experience, politics and things of that nature. There was just an array. We had Amanda Beard, who is the only police officer with the Barstow City Police Department. She was great. Talking about, you know, a male-dominated field, being in a male-dominated field, and how do you work in that? You know, what are the pros and cons of it? You know, so it was so many people. We had Carrie Pride talking about fitness and her journey. Dee Dee Cox, who is from Nelson County, and she spoke about her experiences. You know, she's written a book, and she's over pageants. She's put a lot of women where they're at right now. So, I mean, it was just a well-rounded conference. I mean, with Shona Shekels with Springhaven, and we had Wilma Sorrell with Path Coalition. So, I mean, you know, I just tried to do panels that women would be interested in. And it was one where we'll build off of them. You know, we had education, we had medical, you know, health and fitness. And so those are ones that will be broken down, and we'll do series on them. So coming up next, there'll be a series on women in business, and then there will be a series on a drug forum. I'm really wanting to do something in August where it coincides with kids going back to school, like a kickoff, and the experts come in and just be down to earth and relate to them. You know, there's a lot of vaping going on, there's a lot of drinking going on, and they need to know that what the effects and how it can harm you. You know, they need to know that. I mean, back when I was a child, we had DARE. And we graduated from DARE, so now we need to find some way to reach the kids. So I'm really excited about that. And then human trafficking, I'm really touched by that. Recently, I went to a women's conference and won the award for Women's in Excellence. And that was in Washington, D.C. And so they were doing PSAs. And there were over 200 women. And so I sit down and did a PSA, and I chose human trafficking. And I did that because the Sisters of Charity are so connected to that. And it's happening right under our eyes. And so I did that, and they said, hey, we remember you. We watched this 4 times, and we chose you. So it actually rose out today. I was supposed to catch a flight to Cincinnati, and the flight was overbooked. So I was going to be part of their program, and they were going to roll out everything. So it's okay. I had plenty to do here too. Okay, God works in mysterious ways, so it must have been made for me to be here today. So yeah, it's just totally exciting. This year, 2019, has been a blessing because I didn't even know what I was going to do. You know, all that, you know, running and going and working on this and answering these phone calls. And, you know, I still get the text messages and the calls, but I'm not on city council, you know, and I try to say, okay, well, did you contact city council yet? You know, but it doesn't make me stop believing in my community and loving my community. So, you know, unofficially community advocate, you know, that's what I am. And I go places. I don't get paid to go and speak anywhere. I don't get paid to travel anywhere. I do that because I love my community and I want to know more about it and how I can help it.
A little over 100 years ago, as you mentioned earlier, a very white male-dominated society. Should I feel threatened with women getting race relations, women getting more powerful, or should I feel flattered that we're going to be on equal basis?
I think you should be flattered.
And the reason I say that is it is a changed society. I get people come up to me all the time and say, things aren't like they used to be. No, they're not. They're better. And I guess that's what I'm trying to lead to is I think I know we're not there yet.
No.
I think we've got a ways to go. So people shouldn't be challenged. I guess that's what I'm trying to lead to. I don't think we should be scared of change.
No, and I think the more that women get involved with politics, we have a seat at the table. It's not enough to just have a seat here. In order to have a seat at the table, where you need utensils and plates in front of you, and that's something that we're getting there. I mean, there's a glass there, but we don't have anything to use to eat with, and so we have, and this is nothing against a man, but we have men making policies for women. That can't happen, that shouldn't happen. We should all be able to sit down. A woman knows her body the best. She is a multitasker.
Right.
And so hopefully men and women both can get together and make decisions together. I truly believe that as a woman, I want that woman at the table because I want her to speak for me. The man can't speak for me. You can't speak for me because you didn't have a baby. You don't suffer internal things like I do. So
men and women are different. I mean,
as
much as we want to say they are, there's the same. There is differences.
And I mean, like we have Viagra and we have women's tampons and pads. All right. Well, Viagra's not taxed, and women's tampons and pads are. Well, you're making money off taxing women that way, as where men, okay, well, they don't get taxed at all. Why is that? And those are questions that women can ask at the legislature. And it's important to have us. It's important for us to be representatives of women at the Capitol or at the nation, at the White House. So I'm hoping that if that's progressive, then that's what I am, because I feel that women should have a seat at the table.
Well, it's a new world, and I guess what I'm leading to is 50 years from now, we're going to look back to today, and we're going to question things and say, that was pretty archaic just as 50 years. I think 50 years from now, people think things have changed up to this point. Wait, just sit back and wait. It's going to be.
But this has been an eye opener. The past 3 years definitely have been an eye opener, I think, for everyone. It seems that where we thought that we had moved forward, I mean, we really didn't. I mean, it looks like we reversed the hands of time. And so it either brings us closer or it divides us even more. And I choose to try to find ways to bring us together instead of dividing us, because we have enough division out there. I don't even have to say anything. We got enough division. And so I think our job should be, how can we bring people together, no matter who you belong to, who you are, how can we get together and work together? Because when we work together, we can get things done. But the division will continue to separate us.
Well, I think common sense, everybody knows that men and women are equal. They know that races are equal. They all know this, but it takes a leader to speak it out, because I don't know if people are afraid to stand up or they don't want to go against the grain, but you got somebody such as yourself, and you've never been shy. I don't know if I've ever identified you as shy, but we need leadership in order to lead, I guess is the right word.
Yeah, and I think, I believe that, especially in politics, you have it where some say, well, you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't do that. We need to stop that. You know, I don't know if President Trump ruined it by saying that, you know, he's not the normal politician.
He's definitely not normal.
Yeah, but I still believe that we need that common sense up there.
Yeah.
And real people that have did normal things, made mistakes, but they learn from them.
Yeah.
And people that really want to work and love their community. We know who those people are, but we also know the ones that just want it for a title.
Yeah.
I was never a title person. So, you know, I truly love the community. You know, I believe that we need a sports center or a YMCA for our community. I believe that we need a splash park. You know, we are this tourist city. We are the bourbon capital of the world. And then when these tourists come here, you know, people want to travel with their kids.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do, really. Nothing to do.
Oh,
I mean, I'm thankful that we have a skating ring. You know, my grandkids go to the skating ring on Friday nights. I'm thankful for that. I had that when I was a child. But we don't have the arcades. We don't have the go-kart wheelies. Those things are gone from when I was a child. And it's just going to take a community to step up and say, look, you know what? We have all these bourbon things to do, you know, but now let's try to get some kid things. Let's get focused for family, you know.
Well, you spent a few years out of the country, out of the state with the Army, and you think that made a difference when you come back to make
most definitely
open your eyes a little differently?
Oh, I see things very different. And, you know, sometimes I was like, dang, am I, what do they call transplant? You know, but I think that helps. I think when you travel outside of your state, and you see how the other world is living, and then you come back home, you want the same thing.
Yeah.
You want to build on that. You know, Lexington right now, they have these phrases that you put on the roads. So motivating. And when we were going through all of that trial and tribulations about, 4 years ago? Wouldn't that have been bright for it to rain and it shows this beautiful message, whether it's inspirational, motivational, or religious, they're on the roads throughout the town. We're a tourist town. That's something that we need. So I just go different places, and when I see something, I'm like, man, we need to do that. We need to try that. You know, we have the best of everything in this town, and so we should continue to build on it.
So, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but what's next for Kecia Copeland? I mean, I'm not going to say politically or personally. I mean, are you just going with the next? What's in your mind right now?
I'm just trying to be a better resident of Orangetown and help out wherever I can. You know, volunteer. I also go outside of my community. I think it's important to go outside of your community and do things as well, because we need to connect. We need a network. Networking is so important, and people don't understand that. What I tell a lot of people, I love the chamber. I'm an ambassador, but everyone doesn't belong to the chamber. So you got to remember that. You know, if you're having these ribbon cuttings and things, well, think about the people that are not attending those. Yeah. You know. I mean, we've got to find a way outside of that to do more. We've got to do more. And so, you know, whether I'm ambassador of Main Street, you know, whatever, I'm always trying to think of how we can bring other things and connect the dots, because some of those dots are missing right now. Yeah. They just are. And so I even work with, you know, I ask the council, you know, whether it's David Dones or Bill Shekels, you know, I'm always trying to find out more ways. And by the way, thank the council. I asked men of the community to support the women's conference. So they stepped up, and I'm so appreciative of that.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, you know, it takes a bold...
Oh, the mayor did too, I'm sorry.
And it takes a bold leader sometimes to make things happen that maybe should have happened a long time ago. And maybe as we go into the future, it'll happen more again. And I suspect that it will happen more again. So, well, Kecia, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're out delivering Easter eggs today and getting ready for a big weekend, so I appreciate that.
Thank you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, all these eggs. I have all these eggs, and I'm just thankful for everyone that has participated in this. So we're hoping for good weather. If not, put the the rain boots on and a jacket and come on
I
out.
think it's supposed to be pretty good, like what I've seen of it. So, kids and women, that's pretty good, but pretty good business to be in right now.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on
Well,
the
no
show.
problem. Like I said, I like to make sure that the word gets out when something's good going on in the town, even when something's going bad going on in the town. But right now, this is a good thing. So,
Well,
like I said, I
thank you.
appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
Appreciate you taking the time to be here. Appreciate you tuning in. So stick around. A lot more to come. We got Kecia Copeland here with us today. She's out doing her part for the community. Let's do your part too. So stick around. A lot more to come here on Channel 6 TV. We'll be right back.